Alrighty then. This is such a Charlie Foxtrot, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it justice. Oh, and if you don't know what a Charlie Foxtrot is, go to bed. It's past your bedtime. For everyone else, this is a spoilery review of episode 8 of The Acolyte, and oh, buddy, it's gonna be a long one. As usual, if you don't want spoilers, please get out of here. Alright, good. So, this whole thing picks back up from the end of episode 6, where Osha had the helmet on, and Smiler Ren's in the room. So, it's not entirely clear what's going on here, but Smiler Ren gets caught in some kind of force vision that's clearly being projected by Osha, and he is rendered more or less incapable of doing anything. Not exactly sure why. He's supposed to have all of the training. She's supposed to be no idea what she's doing with a helmet on. But yeah, Smilo is just barely able to move. For reasons. So he goes and very slowly and with great effort removes Osha's helmet after a solid minute of this occurring. Again, despite all of his training and all of her lack of training. And if that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, don't worry, it only gets worse. So it turns out Osha was having a vision of May, which meant you couldn't touch her. Apparently the Force is very big on consent around here or something. Now, how do we know it's a vision? Well, it's because she tells Smilo Ren about it, despite not trusting him. Like, why would she tell him about it? See, the vision is about May killing a Jedi without a lightsaber, just no weapons whatsoever, therefore fulfilling her deal with Smilo. And Osha wants to stop this. So why would you tell the dude May made a deal with when that dude has been willing to let you take his ship and leave the entire time? Like, the dude's been like, yeah, you could just take my ship and go and it'll be fine. And like, what? Why would you don't need to tell him anything. Just don't tell him. Just be like, oh yeah, it was really scary, I'm sorry. And then just hijack his ship and leave. Because in the following scenes, she makes it very clear that she still does not trust this guy. But all that has to wait for a second, because we make a jump cut over to Saul and May on their ship, and it's May strapped to a bed and Saul talking to her, because, she's still on lockdown for trying to stab him. So May escapes with the help of Osha's droid, who has somehow not figured out that this isn't Osha at this point. And then she goes and does the whole ship separation again, which I don't know why the ship separates, but okay. So she does the ship separation again, takes the escape ship, and then flies off. Obviously, Saul goes to hunt her down on the ship. Not necessarily shoot her down, but just get her back. And he gets sabotaged by the tracker. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. The tracker. That attack was like punching onto May in episode 6 now prevents Saul from recapturing her, despite the fact that he would know Saul is the High Commander here. Like, this is a dude in the employ of the Jedi Order stopping a Jedi Master from capturing someone who has taken an escape ship and attacked the Jedi Master on the grounds of, I don't know because we can't understand him. But no need to worry too much about that, because the chase scene ends with May crashing on the planet Brendok, which is where she grew up. That's where the Coven of Witches is. Well, ex-Coven of Witches, they're all dead now. And obviously, May survives the crash by not slamming into any one of the many mountains in the area, and only slightly grazing them, despite falling from orbit. So anyways, next up, we're back on Coruscant, where a sitting senator has functionally managed to put Jedi sleeping with the director on functional trial, not actual trial, but functionally on trial for not telling the Senate anything, and yet has somehow managed to do this without the High Council finding out about it. Like, I mean, I want to know how he swung that one, because he's now interfering in internal Jedi affairs where he has no legitimate authority at this moment in time, which he says, and yet somehow nobody thought to tell Yoda or anyone else on the council. Like, you have one of the most important figures in the Republic poking around your order, and nobody tells the council. So anyways, this dude's got the fairly legitimate worry that the Jedi are hiding some grand conspiracy from the Senate, and his accusations land hard enough that Jedi sleeping with the director tells him that there isn't a greater threat. All of the victims have been Jedi. I'm sorry, what? This is supposed to diffuse the situation? Remember, the Jedi, by and large, are seen as nearly unkillable. And you just told a sitting senator multiple Jedi have died on one mission. And this is supposed to comfort him. Jedi sleeping with the director is clearly also sleeping with someone on the council. Because how else do you get to be made a Jedi Master being that stupid? And this entire conversation wraps up with the sitting senator going on a holier-than-thou rant against a Jedi Master that is clearly not actually directed at the Jedi Master. And by that I mean it's a very, very thinly veiled statement from the director to the fan base, in my humble opinion. So yeah, now I'm feeling real pissed off at this point. So, with all of that wrapped up, we go back to planet middle of nowhere, where Osha is apparently making a that's fair deal with Smilo Ren, despite still not trusting him. I'm not joking, that's Osha's word. She's like, this is fair, we both go to meet May. You can try to sway her to your side, I'll try to sway her to mine. And Israel's like, why do you trust me? He's like, well, you seem to be a fair dude. Like, I'm sorry, what now? And remember, this is the dude that has actively killed off 10 members of her adoptive family in front of her and has convinced her sister to kill off an additional 2. Like, why are you not just stealing his ship? Why did you tell him about the vision? You're so stupid. Clearly, the bath scene worked because for some reason, you have stopped being able to think around this dude, because I'm betting the only thing you can imagine when you're looking at him is him without any clothes on. How else do you explain being this stupid? Anyways, he offers to train her again. She says no, and they leave the planet, leaving us with the most iconic scene of the entire episode, which is Darth Plagueis hiding out in a cave. And just, why would you do this? This scene is entirely in here so that somebody can say we put Plagueis in this series to bait all of the Plagueis fans into watching the series to pump up rating numbers, despite Plagueis not legitimately being in the series. And people wonder why nobody trusts what they say about the entertainment industry anymore. Make a movie, what's in it? Oh, it doesn't matter what they tell you, because for all you know, it's going to be one scene that technically validates whatever you've been told, despite the fact that it's not actually in the fucking thing. So, next scene, we're back on Brendok. Again, this is the planet where the Coven of Witches died at, reasonably, because they attacked 4 Jedi. So, Saul exits the ship, and it jump cuts over to Coruscant, where Jedi sleeping with the director has been informed that Saul's beacon is now back on, and they can actually track him. So they know he's on Brendok. And her response is to say, gather as many Jedi as you can without raising alarm. Okay, full stop. This is the 3rd time we're doing this. This is the 3rd squad of Jedi that has been gathered together for just this mission, and nobody will tell the council. Like, I know that a lot of the world runs on who you know, not what you know, but like, I mean, this is getting a little out of hand. Like, sleeping with one director shouldn't give you this much sway, don't you think? So, fortunately, Jedi Beta Male has decided to grow a singular brain cell and ask, hey, we're getting a squad of Jedi together. Are you expecting a fight? And Jedi Sleeping with the Director responds with, and I quote, a resolution, end quote. And then Jedi Beta Male loses his one brain cell and accepts that as an answer and does not think to go tell the council about it. So back on planet Dead Witches, we have Osha and Smilo Ren have now arrived. And Osha is piloting because, well, she's the only one that knows where they're actually supposed to go, and has, for some reason, brought the Sith with her. And even more inexplicably, this Sith has given her full control of the ship to the point that she can cut off his communication and all control of the ship, and he can't do anything about it. Like, full stop. She just goes, nope, you can't talk to me, but keeps the radio on one way for her to talk to him, and he can't do shit. Smilo Ren has also lost all of his brain cells. Of course, it's not like OSHA's any better, because she tells him, yeah, this is where they're at, as if he won't immediately kill her. At this point, this dude's killed so many Jedi, if the Council ever finds out about him, they're going to hunt him down with extreme prejudice. You're not getting a squad of Jedi Knights, you're getting a squad of Jedi Masters. And yet, he still seems perfectly content to just let OSHA leave when all of this is done, as if she's not going to promptly go back and tell the Council that somebody killed Saul, who she sees as a father figure. I mean, bro, what the hell is going on in this dude's head? So then, after a bunch of running around and nothing really happening, Smilo Ren ambushes Saul. He's been separated from OSHA at this point, and May has separated herself from Saul as well. So once again, we have a lightsaber fight that, fortunately, does not treat lightsabers like they're baseball bats. Like, they're actually swinging them around with some speed, so that's good. The bad news is that we find out that the budget clearly did not actually go to the lightsaber fight, and that's just been the actors holding that up the entire time, because they decided to start floating around a little bit. I mean, not like entirely floating, like it's more like slow falling, but it's slow falling at a really shallow angle and in a very, very, very straight line. I mean, you can draw a line using just a ruler from where Saul starts to where Saul ends, and Smilo Ren follows the exact same line, all at the speed of about 2 miles an hour. Clearly, somebody ran out of budget here because, like, that's bad. Now, remember, this whole fight is going on with the premise that Smilo Ren already knows May is going to kill Saul without using a lightsaber. So why he even ambushes Saul in the first place is anybody's guess. Personally, my money is on Plagueis deception. But, of course, that would require foresight on the part of the writers, which I don't think they have, so I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. Also in this fight, we get to see the only use for the stance that has been posed about a whole bunch by May and OSHA the entire time, when Saul uses it to do a force repulse, which is just a push in all directions, to get rid of Smilo Ren and 2 flying lightsabers at the same time. And then, because we can't dwell on anything for too long, the whole thing cuts over to May and OSHA talking, and apparently, OSHA really hates May's guts for killing her family. Which, gee, reasonable reaction. May did kind of do that. I mean, her family got themselves killed by attacking Jedi, but like, she doesn't know that part. And apparently this driving hatred is what prevented OSHA from becoming a Jedi and caused her to go work on a Trade Federation ship as a mechanic. I don't get the logic behind it, but, you know, apparently. So May and OSHA start duking it out because May's trying to tell her, no, the Jedi killed our family. And OSHA's like, no, you killed our family. And personally, I think they're both wrong because I think their family got themselves killed. So that all goes on for a hot minute. We cut back and forth between Saul and Smilo Ren fighting and the twins fighting until the rest of the Jedi land in the ship. Like, they're not there yet, but the ship has landed and everybody's seen the ship land. At which point, we get the dumbest part of the entire lightsaber fight, where, for some reason, Smilo Ren's lightsaber is closer to Saul, and Saul's lightsaber is closer to Smilo. They're in a bind, which means their lightsabers are touching, and both of them are grabbing the other one's forearm. Not their hand, not the saber, not the wrist. The forearm. You know, the one thing that won't stop you from pushing forward? Like, either one of them can just take the other dude's arm, neck, anything but, like, Smilo's helmet by just flicking the wrist. And neither of them does this. No, instead they do that normal samurai move where you cross paths, you swing at each other, and it looks like one of them's going to fall over, and really it's just Saul cut Smilo Ren's lightsaber, instead of like killing the dude or I don't know, taking his arm or something. Like, no, we're just going to destroy the lightsaber that he has already seen in this fight separate into two lightsabers. Of course, Smilo Ren forgets about his other lightsaber, so it's not like that's any real inconvenience for Saul because he's functionally out of a lightsaber despite still having a lightsaber. I don't get that logic either. Smilo Ren's just stupid. So anyways, the whole thing ends up resolving out with Saul has Smilo by the throat, like he's got his lightsaber pointed at his throat, doesn't stab forward for some reason, but does get his lightsaber confiscated by May somehow, at which point May basically tricks him into admitting he killed their mother without him also saying it was to defend her, because it very clearly looked like their mother was trying to kill May. I mean, I don't know why Saul doesn't just say that. So Osha confronts him, and again, Saul doesn't defend it as, hey, dude, it looks like your mom was trying to kill your sister. Like, I was trying to defend you. Doesn't say any of that. He's just like, no, yeah, I killed your mom. At which point, Osha chokes him to death, which would be a swerve if it hadn't been foreshadowed for the entire episode. And also episode 6. Because if you want to turn someone to the dark side, a naked dude's the way to do it. I mean, just obviously, like, that's common sense, right? So, anyways, during the process of killing Saul, Osha bleeds the saber crystal, which means she turns it from blue to red. So now she has a red lightsaber, which freaks her out, but, I mean, ignore that for now. And Jedi sleeping with the director is clearly still working on plot time, because despite, Smilo Ren's helmet being off at this point, she doesn't recognize that it's her apprentice or someone or whatever. Like, she clearly recognizes the dude, but not until she sets foot on the planet, and not, I don't know, when she's on the ship 2 feet away. Like, she has to step off of the ramp to recognize this dude, despite clearly being in range to recognize him, and his helmet being off quite a lot here. Oh, and also the little tracker guy walks up to the Jedi squad. I have no idea what he says. I don't know what he's saying, but, like, I mean, he's back with the Jedi team now for entirely unknown reasons, because nobody understands him, unless you're in the story and have a plot reason that you need to. So, again, just to fully reinforce this is Jedi Squad number 3 that has successfully gone on this mission without the Council knowing about it, and one of the 3 squads full-on died. And nobody on Squad 3 has been told what, who, or where they're looking for anything. They're just like, yep, we're going to follow Jedi sleeping with the director, because she's sleeping with the director, and, the plot needs to happen, so we're all going to go. None of us are going to have any idea why. We're not going to be prepped for any of this. We're just going to go in, and no one's telling the Council, because that would be bad for the plot. So while the Jedi Squad is using the tracker to track May and Osha, Smilo Ren catches up to them first. And he basically tells Osha, hey, when I said I wasn't going to give you another offer to train you? Well, I'm willing to train you now. Which, after some convincing from May and Smilo Ren, Osha agrees to. Now, at this point, clearly, May, Osha, and Smilo Ren need to get off this planet and away from Jedi Hit Squad number 3, even though Jedi Hit Squad number 3 has no idea who they're hunting. They do know they're hunting somebody, so if they find them, this is going to be bad news for them. So how are they going to do it? What is the clever plan to get off this planet and not have to face the consequences of your actions? That would be brainwashing May. Yes, and the only true swerve of the entire show, they're going to brainwash May for reasons entirely unclear that May will be 100% okay with. Like, what the hell? This is not, mind you, a power fully unique to this or whatever. This has been done before. But why is May okay with this? Like, this entire time, she has been furious to death about the Jedi killing her family. She has succeeded in that. She has found her sister, which has been the only other driving factor in there, which means she has now killed off everyone responsible and has found the only person she cares about and is promptly willing to forget one of those and just go with the Jedi. What? Also, this works. I'm not kidding, and I don't get why it works. The entire plan of we're going to brainwash May and leave her to take responsibility for our actions and also some of hers works. May goes along with it, and the Jedi don't pursue it any further. I mean, full stop. Jedi sleeping with the director knows that there are twins and another dude on this planet. She knows there are 3 other people. They find one of them fully brainwashed, and she calls off the search. She takes the brainwashed individual back to Coruscant to take responsibility for this, to shovel everything under the rug. For what? Her ex-apprentice, whoever the hell this guy is, has killed off multiple Jedi, including Jedi Masters. They have no reason to believe he didn't do this and won't be coming for more people later. And she just takes the clear and obvious scapegoat, goes back to Coruscant, lies to everyone about it, nobody catches her, and that's it. That's the end of the show. This whole thing where it's been up in the air the entire time, how Ki-Adi-Mundi in episode 1 has a phrase that says the Sith haven't been seen for a millennium, which is 1,000 years, mind you, gets resolved because Jedi sleeping with the director doesn't tell anybody in a story where it doesn't make sense that nobody else tells the council. Like, Jedi sleeping with the director is not the only Jedi that knows there are more people out here. Is not the only Jedi that is aware there is a Sith kind of running around here. And it's just none of them tell the council. Not a single one of them. And Jedi sleeping with the director's apparent, supposed, theoretical reason you're supposed to infer for not telling the council is because she didn't know Smilo Ren was still alive. Like, that hasn't already had catastrophic consequences for the Jedi. Like, they've lost 13 Jedi at this point, I believe, which is 4 of them being Jedi Masters, all because this dude you thought was dead isn't dead, and you're not going to tell anyone about it? Jedi sleeping with the director is officially, in my opinion, a secret Sith. Like, I do not have another explanation. I cannot reason out in the story. I know I'm wrong because, again, this would require foresight, but I cannot reason out how in the story you have Jedi sleeping with the director, do all of this, hide it all from the council, try all of this to go to this massive cover-up to just not tell the council that some dude she thought was dead was actually alive and offing members of the Jedi Order. And also, mind you, Jedi Beta Male and an entire Squad 2 was there, present, for all the Jedi that got killed by a lightsaber, and everyone buys the story that Saul did it. May is the scapegoat, but the official reason that a bunch of Jedi Masters can die, that Jedi sleeping with the director gives to everybody, is that Saul went rogue and killed them over the guilt of having killed off a coven 16 years ago. Just, what the hell? Like, I don't get the rest of this. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't get its line up in my head. And I'm tired of this. So I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good night.